The plant pictured here is Ipomoea batatas, the sweet potato. Now you may be thinking, why didn't we cover sweet potatoes under vegetables and herbs? Well, first of all, because I already picked 15 vegetables and herbs. But secondly, and more importantly, we're going to be covering the ornamental sweet potato. It's the same species as the sweet potato that you eat, but it's been bred for ornamental traits instead of edible traits. So that said, the ornamental sweet potato does produce tuberous roots, just like the edible one does, but because it's been bred for ornamental characteristics and not edible characteristics, if you ate the tuberous root of an ornamental sweet potato, it wouldn't taste very good. So, for the growth form, this is a creeping ground cover, or it can climb as a vine. Most of the time you'll see it used in the landscape as a ground cover or a container plant. And while it can get 20 feet long, most of the ornamental cultivars out in the landscape are going to be more around 3 to 5 feet in width and less than a foot tall. The leaves of this plant can be quite variable. Here's a common leaf type for Ipomoea batatas. It's a cordate leaf base, giving the whole leaf a heart shape. However, some of the leaves have a completely different shape. Here we see a 3-lobed Ipomoea batatas leaf. You'll also notice there's quite a range of leaf color, but most of the time it's either going to be a dark purple color as seen here, or a bright chartreuse color as seen in the last picture. In both cases, the venation will be palmate. Now typically, Ipomoea batatas doesn't flower. However, a lot of the new cultivars have been bred specifically to flower more quickly so that you get to see them in the landscape. And these are what the flowers look like. They're about 1 inch in diameter, usually light lavender to purple in color with a darker purple eye spot, and they are funnel form in shape. In fact, they look somewhat like a petunia. NC State has a large sweet potato breeding program, both for edible and ornamental sweet potatoes. They have about 15 ornamental sweet potato cultivars out to date. So the first one shown here is part of the Illusion series, and the ornamental sweet potatoes found in NC State's Illusion series are known for their highly dissected leaves. So this cultivar is called Emerald Lace. You can see it has that chartreuse leaf color, and the leaves are lobed, but the sinuses are very, very deep, giving it a very dissected looking appearance. And here's another cultivar in that same series, Illusion Midnight Lace, and in this case again we have the very dissected leaf shape, but the dark purple coloration. NC State has even more cultivars in its Sweet Caroline series. This one is called Sweetheart Purple because of its purple coloration and heart-shaped leaves. And it's important to add at this point that in addition to color and appearance, these cultivars are bred to be very heat and humidity tolerant and also to grow very vigorously, which is not hard to do as sweet potatoes tend to do that anyways. Here is Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Red, so a leaf color that we haven't seen yet. It actually looks like what would happen if you mix that chartreuse color with the purple. You get this sort of reddish purple coloration as seen here, and the new foliage coming out still chartreuse. Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Light Green, and while I don't have pictures of them here, the Sweet Caroline Sweetheart series has heart-shaped leaves, like you see here, but there are Sweet Caroline cultivars that are not the Sweetheart ones. They're just Sweet Caroline, and those have the more lobed leaf shape rather than the heart-shaped leaf shape. Another new one, Sweet Caroline Bewitched. This one, as you can see, has sort of a mixture halfway between the heart-shaped leaf shape and the lobed leaf shape. So there are lobes, but the sinuses aren't very deep. And this one has also been bred to not grow and spread quite as much. So it gets more like 2 feet in width rather than 3 to 5 feet. And that's so that it would be more suitable for growth in a container. And then finally this one, Sweet Caroline Raven, named for its very dark purple leaf color. You'll see it has the lobed leaf shape, and this one has also been bred to be more compact, so it will grow better in containers. So there are many more NC State ornamental sweet potato cultivars, but those are all the ones that I'll show you now. And there are many, many more ornamental sweet potato cultivars that NC State had nothing to do with. So you have a lot of variety available here, but knowing that it's a very vigorous growing vine, the leaf margins are going to be entire, and you're going to either have usually that heart-shaped or the 3 to 5-ish lobed leaf shape in purple or chartreuse that will help you narrow it down a bit. It does have somewhat of a distinctive appearance, so even though it can be variable, it's not too hard to nail it down to a sweet potato or Ipomoea batatas.